Ancient Egypt is a vast and mysterious place filled with hidden secrets, curses of the pharaohs, and massive stone tombs you won't believe. From brick mastabas during the Old Kingdom to vast tunnel systems of the New Kingdom, here are ancient Egyptian burial sites. Hey everyone, how's it going? Are you guys ready for another action-packed American Eye video? Let's check it out. But first, before we get started today, we'd like to give a quick shout out to Crystal and Nicole for leaving us this comment on one of our recent videos. American Eye is glad that you enjoyed learning about different types of ghosts, and maybe we can make some more haunted videos in the future. Let us know in the comments section some of the videos you'd like to see, and maybe we'll feature you in an upcoming video. Number 10. Abooseer Necropolis. This extensive necropolis is located not too far away from Cairo, and the site takes its name from a neighboring village. It's found only 7 kilometers away from Saqqara, and it's one of the main elite burial grounds during the time of when the city of Memphis was the capital. It was constructed sometime during the 5th dynasty of ancient Egypt. This was back during the Old Kingdom, which took place between the early 25th century BC until the 24th century BC. The site was chosen for its proximity to Lake Abooseer, which would prove to be useful to deliver supplies to the construction site. They used stones from a local source as opposed to high-quality stone from quarries further away. Some would say that decision resulted in a reduction of quality when compared to other more notable pyramids. This would indicate that the pharaohs who built them wanted a quicker and cheaper option to get the job done. A total of 5 pyramids were built here, and only 4 are recognizable. Eventually, the site would be abandoned by the pharaohs, but would still become popular among nobles. Number 9. Dahshur. Dahshur is one of ancient Egypt's most well-known necropolises, located in the desert just west of the Nile River, about 20 miles south of Cairo. It contains some of their most bizarre monuments too. Here you'll find 3 main pyramids. The Bent Pyramid was built in 2600 BC by Pharaoh Sneferu and is basically an architectural blunder. The pyramid begins to incline at a 54-degree angle, but engineers will quickly realize that this angle was much too steep and it wouldn't work. So about halfway through, they decide to give it a 43-degree angle, which explains its bent aspect. The next pyramid is the Red Pyramid, which is the largest of the 3 pyramids at this necropolis. It gets its nickname for the resty, reddish glow that the pyramid gives off, also built by King Sneferu. It's believed to be ancient Egypt's first true smooth-sided pyramid, leading to the construction of the Great Pyramids at Giza. This was certainly a great advancement from the Step Pyramid. And last but not least is the Black Pyramid, which is the least impressive of the 3 and suffers from structural damage. It almost doesn't even look like a pyramid at all. Number 8. Valley of the Kings. As pyramids became too noticeable and were often targeted by thieves, the pharaohs needed somewhere more concealed and incognito to spend eternity. The Valley of the Kings in ancient Egypt houses some of the most elaborate tombs of kings that the world has ever seen. The valley is found on the west bank of the Nile and is situated not too far away from the former capital of Thebes. For 5 centuries, between the 16th century to the 11th century BC, this area served as the final resting place for some of Egypt's most notable pharaohs. The tombs were decorated with hieroglyphics and remarkable works of artwork. Don't forget about the priceless treasures and golden sarcophagi like where King Tut was discovered. Some even believe that there was a pharaoh's curse put upon those who dared to enter the tombs of the pharaohs. Number 7. The Kushite Necropolis. This 2,000-year-old underground city of the dead was discovered in Sudan near the Nile River, and it's here where they came across a few startling discoveries. The kingdom of Kush flourished during this time and controlled a vast territory of Africa, but at one point in time, this land was ruled by Egypt. They built hundreds of remarkable pyramids, but in this case, all the monuments are underground. This culture shared a few similarities with the ancient Egyptians, as you can see from this decorated box that was uncovered at the site. Archaeologists believe that the large eye here is not only used for decoration, but also to protect against evil spirits. This silver ring was found at this remarkable site and depicts the ancient Egyptian deity of Amun, who was in this culture, was depicted as a ram's head. They also came across this skeleton, who is believed to have been an archer, since his tomb was found with plenty of arrowheads. Number 6. Kubet Elhawa. This random Egyptian burial site is located near the Aswan Dam in a southern part of the country and is constructed on top of a hill. It's quite different than some of the other ones we've seen on this list, and has provided archaeologists with insight on the burial traditions of the later Old Kingdom. His autobiographical description gave us much information about Egyptians' expansion to Nubia. It also discusses the good deeds he committed, which included feeding the hungry, clothing the naked, and giving boat rides to those who needed ferry rides. In any case, though, it houses 3 notable tombs and a few from the Middle and New Kingdoms. Number 5. Valley of the Golden Mummies. Discovering a place like the Valley of the Golden Mummies sounds like something that might happen in an Indiana Jones adventure. But it really happened in 1996 by the Egyptologist Zahi Hawass at the Bahariya Oasis. Him and his team found roughly 105 mummies that were around 2,000 years old or so that were well preserved. This would have meant that it dated back to the Greco-Roman period. Typically the face was at least covered in gold, and waistcoats would depict scenes of ancient gods and goddesses across the chest. There were remains of about 250 mummies, but so many had decayed to the point that they weren't really valuable artifacts. It's believed that as many as 10,000 mummies were once placed in this valley, so there could be a lot more excavations coming up soon. Number 4. Secret Mummy Cave. This sounds like a pretty spooky cave to explore. Also known as the Royal Cache or the Theban Necropolis, this site is located near Deir el-Bahari and contained many unopened tombs. It was here where the mummy of the high priest Pino-Gem II, his wife Nexhans, and other family members of the high priest were buried. He lost his life sometime around 969 BC during a decline in the Egyptian kingdom. He was finally discovered again in 1881. This illustration gives us an idea in relation to the mortuary temple exactly where it was found. The royal mummy cache of this necropolis houses more than 50 kings and queens during the New Kingdom. It's believed that the secret mummy cave would be inspected often by members of the royal family to ensure that the area was still safe from tomb robbers. It looks like this couple managed to hide out for quite a while. Number 3. The Saqqara Necropolis. This necropolis is home to the largest group of ancient Egyptian tombs and was used by the First Dynasty. Built long ago in 2700 BC in the mysterious land of ancient Egypt in the necropolis of Saqqara is the Dozier Pyramid. This building dominates the landscape of the nearby area. It stands 203 feet tall or 62 meters and was once polished with white limestone. It was constructed by the second king of the third dynasty, King Dozier, which basically gives the step pyramid its name. Before step pyramids or smooth-edged pyramids became popular, the pharaohs of ancient Egypt preferred to be buried in mastabas. These look like rectangular prism-shaped tombs and are basically made of mud bricks, like we see in this photo. We begin to notice an advancement in tomb architecture when the mastaba began to stack on top of each other, essentially creating a step pyramid. The pyramid was not simply a tomb at that point. It was actually a way to reach the afterlife, so total dedication to the project was necessary. The step pyramid wasn't the only tomb that was built there. There are also many other tombs built for high-ranking people like judges or nobles as well. Number 2. Queen Hatshepsut's Mortuary Temple. The Theban necropolis as well, this one is one of the more notable Egyptian burial grounds of ancient Egypt. Built by a woman named Queen Hatshepsut, she revolutionized architecture in Egypt by constructing this unbelievable funerary temple. She was the second confirmed female pharaoh and came into power since her father was unable to bear a son. She often portrayed herself as a man and wore a ceremonial beard. Located in Deir el-Bahari, this temple complex is an example of perfect symmetry and was completed in the 15th century BC. For reasons still unclear to this day, her son Thutmose III ordered his men to erase any written history of his mother. Thutmose has also built a mortuary complex here dedicated to the god Amun and was heavily damaged by landslides. But before we get to our number 1, let us know what point in history you would go back and visit if you had a time machine, and maybe we'll feature you in an upcoming video. If American Eye had a choice, he'd use his time machine to go see some crazy gladiatorial fights of ancient Rome. And before we get to our number 1, we'd also like to give a quick shout out to Jonas Stump for leaving us this comment on our Strangest Hollywood Mysteries video. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up too if you haven't already. And number 1, the Great Pyramids. We all know the greatest of all pyramids is the Great Pyramid in Egypt. Consisting of roughly 2,300,000 stone blocks weighing from 2 to 30 tons each, many still feel as though this accomplishment was impossible without some form of help from outer space. Recent studies have shown that the pyramids can focus electromagnetic energy. It was built by the son of Snefru, King Khufu, or just possibly by aliens, who knows. No matter how hot it might get in the Egyptian desert, inside the pyramid remains cool at 20 degrees Celsius or 68 degrees Fahrenheit. The granite stones in the king's chamber in the pyramid weigh up to 80 tons. They were somehow transported over 500 miles without the help of the wheel or metal tools. All this was done with sleds and ramps, right? They were then lined up perfectly with the constellation of Orion. This is also where you'll find smaller pyramids and the Sphinx. It certainly seems like there might have been some interaction with extraterrestrials and humans. So what'd you guys think of that video? Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. We'll see you next time.